And over you come. Yeah, now this looks like, honest to goodness, I'm trying to be on the edge. Straight ahead. Now continue the yielding. Excellent. Straight ahead. A little more yielding. And then when you get up to this end, stop in front of me so that I can bore you with the story. Bend him, inner bend, and stop. Yay. All right, so all right, you get plus points for all that. Because then it was a little bit like he went, oh, so you actually have a plan and maybe I should work. And it wasn't, you know, like he's not going around with a white cane. Okay? All right, so here's the thing. I force this on everybody. This is my most favorite analogy of any analogy that I use, and I use a lot of them. And he can just stand on a long rein. I talk about a vending machine. Make your horse like a vending machine. The kind that's in the hotel down by the elevator that has that big glass front and all the little spiral things and, you know, the sun chips and all the kinds of candy and moon pies and all this stuff. The point is, you put your money in, it blinks ready, and it's ready for whatever you want. That doesn't matter. If you want this, you go A4, B3, and yesterday, I think the kid was, Sierra was riding, and I asked her to canter, and there was nothing there. She said, oh, I have to get him ready. You know, she'd been trotting for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's wrong. Because if the horse is trotting, he should be blinking, ready, ready, ready. And it's our job, if you're doing walking leg yielding, and it's a horse that has some experience, and it's not, you know, something you pulled off a truck, or something that's 2.5 years old, then while you're doing whatever movement you're doing, you're reminding him that everything else has to be available. So that as you're doing that leg yielding, should I say, and counter canter, and so you have to be having these private conversations with him all the time. If I wanted X, would you give me X? If I wanted Y, would you give me Y? If he says no, you say, he says, yes, he will. And then you make it all soft and smooth. So every movement is alive inside the one you're actually showing, and that makes a complete horse. That's a horse that's really on the edge.
Yes.
Okay? And so that is one of our goals here. Fair enough? Okay, so walk the 20 feet. And canter a 10-meter circle, and at the end of it, walk. Right now. And as you come back to the quarter line, walk and walk shoulder in. Up. Right? Okay. Now, down the next quarter line, walk shoulder in again. This is obviously not an exercise you do with a young green horse, but it's something that gets the two of you much closer to the same wavelength. And repeat it in front of B, just a 10-meter circle, and then the walk transition into shoulder in. Canter on. All right? Make him light, make him stay up, push him up from behind, prepare walk, supple the jaw, and shoulder in. And as you come down here, then I want you to make a turn on the haunches left and walk right shoulder in back down that quarter line. Everything alive, don't hang, wide awake. You can bash him with your right leg. Yes, yes, yes. Good, right shoulder in. It's a little loving bashing, we call it. 10-meter circle, right lead canter. It's what we do with Claudia. And at the end of it, walk shoulder in. Good, getting there. Angle. Yep. Good. This makes him just rise to the occasion and become a real participant with you. Last time the same. Quarter line, walk shoulder in. Yep, a little more forward. And then you try to get directly to canter without the jog step. 10-meter circle. And when you make the downward transition, you really make him stay up in his withers. Ride him up with your lower leg Make him hold himself. Up he comes. Supple his jaw. Shoulder in walk. There's a better downward. Good. And you're going to make the right turn on the haunches like you both really mean it. Let go. Don't pull. That's it. Half fold and half fold and half fold. And just come back over here a second. Good. Let him be on a long range. Stop here. Now, some of the stuff that I will tell you, and in fact, some of the stuff that if I have a lesson, they tell me, is stuff that we all know. It's just like, duh, right? You know, there's this famous line, you know, like, why do all dressage riders have sloped shoulders and stooped foreheads, right? You know about that? Yeah, because when you ask them why they do something, they go, and you tell them why, they go, like that. Yeah, so it's all, there's nothing new. There's nothing new. It's all the same old stuff. But sometimes it's like, damn, of course I knew that. So the aids always work better when they ebb and flow. And they have to happen within the span of a footstep. So anytime, like if you make a turn on the haunches and your outside hand goes there and the horse goes, well, of course it stops his hind leg or it braces his neck or something. But if it's push, organize, ask, soften, catch, it's the chemistry of it that makes it interesting.
This is good for me too.
To me, the interesting thing that I found over the years is the more experienced you get, time sort of slows down. So I remember the first canter pirouette I ever rode. It was on a schoolmaster. It was in 1974. And it was like, wow, look at that, wow, it happened. Oh my God, this is so exciting. But it was like, it just happened. Now, if I ride a canter pirouette, it's like this step, I do this, and this step, I move my leg a little bit, and it's a little, and then the next step, he says he needs something else, so a little there, and the next step, a little softening. And it's like I have time to think, when before it was like just a blur.
Yeah.
So the more you let your aids learn to be alive, the more they're aids. And Susan was doing a clinic once in Orlando. This is Susan. Doing a clinic in Orlando. It was actually an instructor workshop. And there was a woman who came to ride in it who was Dutch. And she knew how to ride and teach, but she didn't know how to ride and teach in English. She had, in the Netherlands, she took high school English, so she could order a pizza. But she couldn't make money teaching because she didn't know the riding words. And so she was teaching a practice lesson. Susan was the organizer. She was critiquing the watchers and so on. And this woman didn't know the word for the aids. She just didn't know the word. And she kept calling them the helps. And that's actually almost a better word because it's not jargon. It's like, yeah, help him move this hind leg. Help him hold himself. Help him let go. Help him move his shoulders. That's what we're up to. Okay? So let's go on this 20 again. March. Yeah. Now, if he's asleep because we've let him be asleep, I don't care. And then you just say, hello, wake up, we're back to work. You rub the lamp, the genie comes out, and you're back in business. And then he's got to work for you. So at that moment, if he decided to fall asleep, I don't begrudge him that. But now he's not allowed to, right? On the circle walk travers.
That was funny. My brain just went, wait, which direction was that?
I know, and I'm so happy that you got it right, because probably, you know, if I had said renvers, 3/4 of the people I teach, including some L judges, automatically do the other one, and it just makes me scream. You know, it's like, come on, people! All right, so hunches in is what you're doing. That's the way. Now straighten him, and trot on, and rising. And now let's make him a little fiery, a little energized, a little not honestly excited, but let's call it motivated. Let's imagine there's this bizarre old print from like 300 years ago, some in quotes classical equitation, and they have this wildcat that they're throwing onto the horse's back end to make them be
Yeah.
energized. Well, that's why we have Claudia here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about fire extinguisher?
And I feel like he wants to lean on the right hand.
Okay, so push them onto the left hand.
I was gonna say his right leg has to answer.
That's nice. Now, you know in the third level, the Uberstreichen thing? Just release the inside range, everything else is the same. That's it. Good. And so, when they're hanging, that's a bad time to give because they fall on their face, although once in a while it's worth saying to them, see what happens to you? But you like the idea that you could give one or both, and not only in that one movement that it's in a third level test, but reasonably, if you're riding the shoulder in, you should be able to give the inner rein and the horse still being shoulder in. And I was watching a Schumacher clinic, and he had Odette Shimoni do it in the canter pirouette, and the pirouette still worked. So, all right, I like this. Now, let's have you sit to the trot.
I'm glad you said something.
Right? A lot of trot to sit to, that's good. Take the track. Have a corner. Ride shoulder in. 10-meter circle at D, then hunches in the rest of the long side.
Well, he'd have a right.
All the preparation now, so you make
What?
a little momentary brace, a half ball.
Yes.
Hunches in.
It's a little tape recorder.
Good.
I mean, it's a
Straight
video
before the corner.
videotape.
You can see
thing.
that was basically correct, just not quite enough angle. Shoulder in again.
I have the two and I have it at home. That's really doing really good because I wanted that tape too.
Because it was cheaper than
And circle 10.
No, I didn't know.
Was that 10?
10.
I got mine from my nan's.
And then towards me, the haunches in.
Mine exists.
but I don't know what to do with it.
I don't need them. Says it's just
Make sure you don't brace against each other. All right, and straighten out. And half circle out to the center line, back to the track, rising. Just change direction. Turn, center line, turn. All right, go on the diagonal instead. Go that way. And low hands, quiet hands. Follow the track. And we'll give you both a break in a second. How about sitting and a shoulder in at F again?
I wonder if that's Sheila. I hear the dogs
Sitting,
barking.
low hands, low elbows.
Well, I didn't park where I was.
Yes, 10-meter circle.
No.
I know.
Yeah, because we have a big trailer coming, so you
Seems
might
to
move your
take
car.
over.
If
Make
it's,
sure your body language makes the way.
well, I have 2 trailers coming today, so.
The angle's better.
And also, Ann, if you could move your car, just because if people see a car someplace and then they don't read the directions and then they just park next to the other person.
Let me catch my
Where are you
breath.
parked at?
Right.
All right, so
Barn.
I was
Where at? Where do you mean from the
saying
barn?
to Sierra yesterday, in her case it was about the canter.
Yeah. Well, either park it in the pasture or park it way out near the trailers. Because I just don't, people,
And I feel like he wants to lean on the right hand.
Okay, so push them onto the left hand.
I was gonna say his right leg has to answer.
That's nice. Now, you know in the third level, the Uberstreichen thing? Just release the inside range, everything else is the same. That's it. Good. And so, when they're hanging, that's a bad time to give because they fall on their face, although once in a while it's worth saying to them, see what happens to you? But you like the idea that you could give one or both, and not only in that one movement that it's in a third level test, but reasonably, if you're riding the shoulder in, you should be able to give the inner rein and the horse still being shoulder in. And I was watching a Schumacher clinic, and he had Odette Shimoni do it in the canter pirouette, and the pirouette still worked. So, all right, I like this. Now, let's have you sit to the trot.
I'm glad you said something.
Right? A lot of trot to sit to, that's good. Take the track. Have a corner. Ride shoulder in. 10-meter circle at D, then hunches in the rest of the long side.
Well, he'd have a right.
All the preparation now, so you make
what?
a little move. momentary brace, a half halt. Come
Yes,
punches in.
It's a little tape recorder.
Good.
I mean, it's a
Straight
video
before the corner.
videotape
You can see
thing.
that was basically correct, just not quite enough angle. Shoulder in again.
I looked at two and I have it at home. That's really doing me good because I needed that tape too.
Because it was cheaper than,
And circle 10.
that's why it doesn't.
Oh, I didn't know.
Was that 10?
10.
I got mine for 99 cents.
And then towards me, the haunch is in.
Non existent.
But I don't know what to do with it.
I don't need them. It says it just
Make sure you don't brace against each other. All right, and straighten out. And half circle out to the center line, back to the track, rising. Just change direction. Turn, center line, turn. All right, go on the diagonal instead. Go that way. And low hands, quiet hands. Follow the track.
There's not a lot of memory, but you can stick a stick in.
And we'll give you both a break in a second. How about sitting and a shoulder in at F again?
Wonder if that's Sheila. I hear the dogs
Sitting,
barking.
low hands, low elbows.
Well, I didn't park where I was.
Yes, 10-meter circle.
totally in the
No.
way.
I know.
Yeah, because we have a big trailer coming, so you
Seems
might
to
move your
take
car.
over.
If
Make
it's,
sure your body language makes the way.
well, I have 2 trailers coming today, so.
The angle's better than
And
the
also,
correct.
Ann, if you could move your car, just because if people see a car someplace and then they don't read the